music. You know, we've probably been listening to music since we were like 10, 11, 12, whatever the case may be. And I mean, I always listen to music, bro. My first like real love for music was probably Deftones. You know, that's like my favorite band.
Yeah, I remember them. They were hot for a minute, bro. They were hot.
Yeah, for me, that's still like my favorite band. That's always like my go-to. You know, it started with Deftones. You start off like listening to the radio shit, you know, like Disturbed and all that.
Yeah.
For the old people like us, right? That's like radio stuff. Slipknot, and then little by little you start getting a little bit more advanced. In high school, I listened to a lot of like Smashing Pumpkins, Deftones, Poison the Well. If anybody knows
I remember Poison the Well.
Right? Because you go through your little like angsty phase and all that stuff. And yeah, man, just every year I kept listening to music. So that's basically like a bunch of influences. College, I just started getting into like really different kinds of stuff. Like a band called Granddaddy is also like a band that's really influential on me. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's a main songwriter guy. It was basically a band, but it was one guy that wrote all the music. Really fucking awesome band, really awesome songwriter. You should check him out, or anybody should check him out. And then from there, man, I mean, as a musician, I started under the name Holy Colors about 4 years ago. You know, like. Again, you know, for us that love music, you know, we always dream about making our own music, right? And then sometimes it doesn't come up, right? Whether you don't have the right equipment, or you just don't have that faith in yourself, or you just never really you never give yourself the time to sit down to try to make it work. So I remember when I was younger, I would just kind of like sit down and like, you know, noodle around, fuck around, and you would have some good ideas, but I was never able to like attach it to anything else, right? So it'd be like, oh, this would be a good verse, but where's the chorus, or this or that? And then, like in 2018, man, I just kind of like sat down and I was like, fuck it, you know, I'm just gonna do it. And it happened, you know, out of nowhere, man. It was like those moments where like people, like those cliche moments where it's like, oh, like it was lightning in a bottle, you know, it's like one song after another. And then that's just how it happened. And then from there, I just kept pushing, and I've just been pushing all along, man, you know, every time I feel like I'm always like scared that I'm not gonna have music to write. I don't know. Do you ever get that feeling too?
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like you're gonna run out of ideas, and like this is your last greatest idea?
Well, I mean, sometimes. Well, it doesn't happen as much.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
If you stop playing, for sure, that's when that would happen.
Yeah. So for me, I kind of always get worried about that, but I just keep pushing, man. And every couple months or whatever, I come back, I have an idea, jot it down, and then somehow something else becomes something else. So yeah, man, that's pretty much just how it happens. Nothing too fancy, you know. Just the dude coming home and making music on the weekends, basically, you know, or whenever. That's probably the only one. I mean, besides that, you know, obviously you have like the fear of going on stage and forgetting how to play a part. Yeah. But that's more like a performance type of thing. But like, I think as a musician, it's just that like wanting to write stuff and like feeling passionate about it, and you know, like again, wanting to write something and then just not having any ideas, right? Or everything that you're putting down is just like garbage. I think that's probably the thing that I fear the most, you know? So. My advice, I would just say I don't know, man. I feel like I don't feel like I ever tried to, I guess if anything, it would be my older you, right? Just how you put it. So when I was trying to write music and I felt like I couldn't, which was when I was like 20, you know, 21, 19, whatever, I would have definitely given myself the advice to, number one, get the proper equipment. Because I feel like you could be a really good songwriter, but if you don't have the proper equipment to like capture those demos and like put them together, you're never gonna get anywhere, man. So you can be the greatest guitarist, but if you can't, you know, record it patch it together and put your verse with your chorus and then lay a second guitar part, like you're never gonna make it happen. You're just gonna be, you know, just playing for the sake of playing, which is awesome, man. You know, I know people love playing, that's why we play, but if you really want to be a songwriter, that would be my advice, man. You know, just get the proper equipment. You don't have to get the fancy stuff. And then from there, just give yourself the time to like really sit down and you know, just sit down and give yourself time to be able to write something. So that's the advice. Music highlight for sure was, I would say too, specifically the more recent one would be performing live. So under Holy Colors, I've never performed. The only time that I performed was with my previous band. So as Holy Colors, like as my own songwriter and all that shit, back in March was the first time that I performed. And it was the first time that I performed all these songs that I wrote with like actual musicians, you know, a drummer, bassist, guitarist, my girlfriend Jasmine doing vocals.
Nice.
So yeah, that was definitely a high point for me. You know, just being able to hear someone else play something that I wrote and not only play it, but like play it their own way and like improvise and all that shit. It was fucking fantastic.
There you go.
Awesome. Yeah. So that was a high point. And then the other one would be, I would probably say again, you know, going back to my debut album, Faraway Places. Writing that whole album was awesome. You know, like I said, I never thought I had it in me to write 12 songs. And then out of nowhere, 12 songs were there, man. And it's like,
damn.
I felt like one song after another was like fucking like, oh man, the song is so good. The song is so good. And then I was able to work with this producer called Brooks. He goes by the name of, what's his name? I forget his name, his musician name, but he was in a pretty legit band for a while back in like the early 2000s, or mid 2000s, I should say. So he definitely knows what he's doing. And he took my demos, my super rough demos, and he made a masterpiece out of it. At least that's how I feel, right? So that was another high point for me. Like just being able to work for him and being able to like say, hey, I fucking wrote an album. And even if nobody listens to it, like it's there, right? And it's gonna be there forever. And I can die and say I wrote an album, and that's pretty cool. So those are the two high points. Yeah. Yeah, man. So it's basically on most platforms right now. Mainly Spotify. I guess that's the thing that everyone has, right? Either Spotify or Apple Music, YouTube. What's the other big one? Tidal. I feel like people don't really use Tidal too much, but yeah, Spotify,
I heard of Tidal.
Apple Music, Tidal, Amazon, YouTube, anywhere, man, anywhere. And if you still want a CD, just reach out to my email and I'll get you one. So the latest song that I just released with Holy Colors was last month, and it was called Caress. It's like a summer single, you know, something a little bit more different than what I usually do. So it's pretty cool song.
I'm craving a caress under the sun.